Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and welcoming you to my review of The Last Kiss. We are back at DreamWorks, as you can see right there. Now, Last Kiss is a movie that, for the like of me, I thought this movie was just going to be a melodrama, not melodrama, but like a comedy. But the movie actually it's a dramedy. But anyways, Last Kiss was released in 2006, by the way. And talk about a stacked cast and what makes this a stacked cast. I'll tell the cast up on the top and I'll kind of repeat the cast on the back. This has Zach Braff, Jacinda Barrett, I hope I pronounced that right, Casey Affleck, which I've covered a couple movies with his brother Ben Affleck, also on the channel, Rachel Bilson with Blythe Danner, and Tom Wilkins. This movie was directed by Tony Goldwyn. Now, if you're not familiar with who Tony Goldwyn is, Tony Goldwyn was a character actor. He appeared in the 1990s in a little-known film called Ghosts in 1990. In fact, the producer of this movie, who helped him produce this, worked with Tony Goldwyn when he was president of Paramount when Ghosts came out. So that's how he knew him. So that's a little bit of a fun fact right there. And what else was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. And Disney junkies will know him as the voice of Tarzan in the 1999 Disney movie of the same name. Wow. So, yeah, if you're like me and you grew up in the 90s and know, that's Tony Goldwyn, who also appears in another Universal film later on, Last House on the Left, which I do have that, and I'll get to that soon. With that all out of the way, what did I think of The Last Kiss? I'm going to say this is a near masterpiece. No, well, I should say not masterpiece, but a near perfect movie. So let's go ahead and talk about The Last Kiss. I'll explain why. So as I said, this movie also, I think I mentioned the cast on the top, so I'll kind of repeat the cast again. Like I said, this has Zach Braff, this has Jacinda Barrett, Casey Affleck, Rachel Bilson, this also has Michael Winstead, Eric Christian Olsen, Marley Shelton? I think it's Marlene Shelton. Harold Ramis, like I said, Blythe Danner and Tom Wilkins as well. So this movie is actually a remake to, I believe, an Italian comedy. I'm probably going to butcher the name. La Bacco. I'm probably butchering Italian names, but anyways, it was actually written by the same person who made the Italian film, who helped Goldwyn write the script. And personally, I think this movie is really well made. Let's actually talk about the movie. Here we go. Facing the double whammy of his 30th birthday and perspective of marriage, Michael is at crossroads, but just as he's about to kiss his freedom goodbye, he meets a sexy, free-spirited young woman who could be his last chance at excitement or his first step into an emotional free-fall zone. So yeah, that's pretty much the plot to The Last Kiss. And the free-spirited young woman is actually played by Rachel Bilson from the OC. From the OC, as it says on the back. So Michael is this sort of down-on-luck guy. He's an architect, but he basically he's in a crossroad between his friends, a girl he's fallen in love, and another girl he's fallen in love. So it's kind of like, as said many times, the pendulum swings. So he doesn't know who he's going to. At first, he's hanging out with the girl that he's dating, Jacinda Bennett. I forget her name. But then he falls in love with another woman, Rachel Bilson. So basically, these two girls, they like Zach, and he is sort of like, he's a down luck guy, as I said, but he's kind of in a pitfall. His buddies are at a wedding. I think it's his friend's wedding. Casey Affleck's married to another woman, and their marriage is crumbling. And another guy who he's dating someone else, his relationship is crumbling. So it's kind of like, sort of like, they go down the slump hill, and each character trying to find out why. So basically now, Casey Affleck is, I hate to say it, but this character is sort of a deadbeat dad. He doesn't care about being a father. Right when his wife tells him to be with the baby, he's too busy dancing. So what does the wife do? Checks to see what the baby is doing. So apparently she smells something stinks and realizes, oh, why don't you just go... The funny part I like the most is, oh, why don't you just go ahead and dance and I'll go change him. So it's like, dude, be a freaking parent. If the wife tells you to go change a diaper, go change it. Quit dancing and be a parent. That kind of made me chuckle here and there. But it's like, yeah, no parent likes doing that. I mean, come on. So anyways, so after the wedding, he's eventually deciding, well, I'm going to date this other woman. And then all of a sudden, I'm married to this other woman. So we don't know. It's like, what's it going to be like? Is he going to go out with Rachel Bilson? Or is he going to stay married to Jacinda Bennett's character? We don't know. We don't know how it comes. And this is some fluid writing. At first, I thought it was going to be pulled like I said, I reviewed a movie previously called How to Win a Date with Tad Hamilton, and I felt the Tad Hamilton character was kind of weak. I don't find this character that weak. I think Zach Braff is good for the role. I didn't really know about this movie. I saw a trailer for this on the Jackass #2 DVD when I got the DVD many years ago. I got that at Walmart for like $10 while I was in school. And that's how I discovered the trailer of this movie. And I realized, you know what? I want to see this movie. I just never got around to seeing it. I seen the trailer back in the day, but I never actually saw the movie until now. I was over at Steve's and I found a copy of this. It's the widescreen edition. There's also a full screen edition. I was watching the movie and I thought this was a 185:1 movie, but no, this is a 235:1 with the 185 aspect ratio when I played it on the player in the bedroom. So yeah, I think smart writing, great characters, really steady dialogue, really what makes this great. What almost was a near perfect movie was there are a couple scenes in the movie. One, there's too much making out scenes. I mean, one's enough, two's fine, but having like 5 or 6, it goes way... The making out scenes go way over the top, and it could have been better. The relationship, I believe, with Casey Affleck and the wife kind of goes really over the top. At times they go and bicker and argue. It just goes way over the top, cheesy. But I can ignore that. The characters, you gotta have your characters. If you want to push your characters to the edge, that's how relationships are in real life. You're going to have those ups and downs. You're going to have those good fights. You're going to have those bad fights. Anything like that. If this was not directed well, I would say this was way over the top and way too cheesy. If this was made like 1999, I wouldn't have bought it. But seeing that they got used to, I will easily say that kind of did work for what it is, I guess. Your mileage may vary. But anyways, I think it's a wonderfully paced movie. The ending was a little weak. It could have just it just ends. It ends. I'm not going to spoil how it ends. It just ends. So a weak ending and the making out scenes kind of really hinder it from being an almost perfect movie. I still love Last Kiss. I think it has the smartest writing in any movie I watch. One of the better of the romantic dramedies that came out. It took me forever to see this movie. But until now. And I realize how much this movie is. And I think when you make a movie that great, you make a movie that great. And that, to me, works. And I think the characters wise works well. This is actually from the writer of Million Dollar Baby and Crash. I did not like Crash. I think it was the worst movie 2004. I saw it back in 2004. But Million Dollar Baby is great. So, yeah, Paul Huggis, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. He did a really, really excellent job with the writing. And I feel, again, it's a near perfect movie in my opinion. And I think for a movie that works well, it works well. And as I said, good dialogue. So I think that's really about it that I'm going to say about the movie. Oh, I forgot to mention the parents. Tom Wilkins of Blythe Manor plays Jacinda Barrett's parents, her parents. And they're good. And they have their good moments. I think the parents are really good. With parent characters in movies, it could be terrible. It could be like the worst you've ever seen. But I think personally it does work for what it is. And I honestly think for a movie like this, it does work. So I think that's really about it. I don't want to stay too long in this review. So yeah, at the end of the day, Last Kiss is a must-see. The Last Kiss is a must-see. I think if you like these actors, I was surprised because I'm not a Zach Braff fan. I don't know. I never really watched Scrubs that much. But I love Garden State, and he's really good at it, though, too. The two female leads are good as well. I just wish the making love stuff would have just been less, and the ending was a little weak. But other than that, I think the movie works well for what it is. And I think the movie does work for what it is. So yes, I'm going to say The Last Kiss is definitely a must-see. If you like romantic comedies, if you want to watch the entire DreamWorks library, is really good. Tony Goldwyn did an excellent job behind the camera. I was kind of hesitant. When I heard that Tony Goldwyn directed this movie, I thought the movie was going to be a little bit weak for what it is. And I personally think it's still a well-made, excellent movie it's just fun. That's really what it is. And if you haven't seen Last Kiss, definitely give The Last Kiss a worthwhile watch. Definitely check this out. So let's go ahead and rate this right now. I'm going to go ahead and give The Last Kiss a 4 out of 5. I still think the movie works well for what it is. I think it's a fun movie. I think for a dramedy, this is not a comedy, this is dramedy, guys. And personally, I think it's just another movie out of the DreamWorks library. And I think with the direction from Tony Goldwyn, it's just really good. His directing in it, I was surprised of his directing as much as his acting. I didn't watch much of him as an actor, but as a director, I think he does have the skill to direct a mid 2000s rom-com, dramedy, whatever you want to say. So yeah, give Last Kiss a watch. It's definitely worth seeing, and definitely, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but this movie is probably I hate to say this, but probably gonna be in my 10 best list near the end of the year. I will watch this over and over again. Well, I'll give this a second watch. If I watch this a second time, I will definitely appreciate this more as a movie, and I think it's just fun. So check out The Last Kiss. Definitely worth seeing. So that's my review of The Last Kiss. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get the video notifications so you don't miss a single video on the channel, guys. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check out all the content I got, all the stuff that I put on the channel. Not channel, but on my Letterboxd page. But don't forget to stop by the channel. I have a ton of Universal reviews, DreamWorks videos, Vlog City videos, and just a lot of really good content in the channel. So you do not miss a single video on the channel. So click the bell. So click the subscribe button and ring the bell to get the video notifications. So as I said, guys, definitely check out Last Kiss. It's a movie that I am going to recommend for sure if you like these dramedies or rom-coms, however you want to say. But yeah, give Last Kiss a watch. It's definitely worth a kiss. So that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies.